My wife texted me at 2 a.m. Busy, call you later. At 2:10 I was already home, terrified by my own reply. She was pulling her hair up at the bathroom sink when I walked in from work with takeout in a decent enough mood. Movie night, I said, holding the bag up, blanket on the couch. Pick whatever doesn't involve capes. She didn't even turn around. Can't tonight. The girls are grabbing coffee. Gossip, you know. A smile, quick and sharp, like she'd practiced it on a Tuesday. Change of plans. The ponytail went up higher. Don't wait up. Her hand shook just enough to smudge her eyeliner. That was new. She wasn't scared. She was worried. It was 8 p.m. If I had known where all this was heading, I would have bought a different dinner and a lock that installed faster. I left the food on the table. 10 minutes. Sit down. Eat with me. It'll get cold. I promised Jen I'd help her pick out tile. Her voice stretched the word promised. She grabbed her purse, which was already packed. You're nervous, I said. She laughed too quickly. Over tile, please. I watched her put on shoes she never wore for coffee, leather, pointy-toed heels, the kind of shoes you pick when someone's going to be looking at you very closely. Text me when you're on your way home, I said. Why are you my dad all of a sudden? No, I'm the guy who bought dinner. She pushed the door open with her shoulder. Don't be dramatic, Aaron. The deadbolt clicked. The house went quiet the way church basements do. Chairs, crumbs, nobody. I ate alone. The food tasted like cardboard with an alibi. The first act started right there. Kitchen table, 2 plates, 1 used. The signal was clear. Still, I started with patience, because that's what grown men do right before they stop doing it. When she got back around midnight, I was organizing tools in the garage. She walked in, phone held face down in her palm. You're up? She asked. Starting work early. I told you not to wait for me. I told you to text me. Did I forget? No, you decided not to. She rolled her eyes. Can we not start a fight over coffee? Jen's going through a rough patch. So you're her hero. You always do that condescending thing. I'm not being condescending. I'm logging patterns. What patterns? She said, dropping her purse on the washing machine. You're ridiculous. Coffee on a Tuesday, jittery hands, dressed like you're going to a job interview, no text, you come home late. That pattern? She stared at me, her face a blank wall. It's innocent. Fine, then you can respect my time. I wiped down a wrench and put it back in its slot. New rule, you're out late, you tell me where and with who. A quick heads up, courtesy. I don't have to report to you. You're either my partner or you're not. But I don't do ghost shifts in my own house. She crossed her arms. I'm not 12. Then it should be easy. She didn't answer. She went inside. Doors chimed. Water ran. I went to bed on my side and left her the ocean. She gave me 3 days of silence, the kind where every answer is half a syllable. I kept my voice calm and my schedule clearer. I stopped brushing her shoulder when I passed. I moved my gym time to the evenings. If she liked the distance, I let the hallway get longer. Friday brought a backyard barbecue at our neighbor Mark's place. People, burgers, paper plates. Public light is good for couples, I thought. She stayed glued to her phone, her thumbs a metronome. I was at the grill when Mark's wife, Rachel, nudged me. Is she okay? Rachel asked. She seems like she's somewhere else. She's fine, I said, because men say that until they stop saying it. Jenna arrived in a bomber jacket with a loud laugh. She hugged my wife like she was rescuing her and didn't look at me. That told me something about the story she'd been fed. Later, near the cooler, my wife reached for a sparkling water. I kept it simple. Are we good? I asked. We're fine. That wasn't the question. She popped the can open. Stop being so intense. It's not intensity. It's the basics. I raised my voice just enough for Jenna to hear without making a scene. If you want a nightlife, schedule it. Tell me. No drama. Jenna's eyebrows shot up. My wife's smile went tight. Public rules now, she said. Public clarity saves time. She scoffed. You don't own my hours. No, I own mine, and I don't loan them out to question marks. That one landed. I saw it in the way she looked at Jenna. Help me. Jenna pretended to examine a napkin. We ate. The men argued about sports. I took a call from my foreman, Pip, about a Monday delivery and stretched it out. It wasn't a tactic. It just felt better to talk to someone who didn't turn a conversation into a maze. When we got home, she softened for the first time in a week. That was the turning point, though I didn't have the language for it until later. She stood in the bedroom doorway, her hair down. "I heard you about time and courtesy. You're right," she said. "This week was a mess." "Okay. I should have given you a heads up about coffee, and Jenna needed me." "Jenna always needs a stage. That's not fair." "It's accurate." She sat on the edge of the bed. "I've been stressed, work, my mom's health." "You didn't say." "You were busy. I made time. You skipped it." She bit her lip. "Let me make it up to you." "How?" "Dinner tomorrow. Just us. No phones. I'll plan it." I nodded once. "Fine. Do it." She slid a hand onto my knee like a truce flag. I held her gaze and let the silence talk. We fell asleep with a 2-foot treaty between us. She planned the dinner. A small place downtown, candlelight, wobbly bistro chairs. She was present. We talked like adults. She asked about Pip's new kid. She laughed at my story about the forklift. When the waiter came with the check, she put her card down first. "Don't faint," she joked. "Noted," I said. "Keep your receipts." On the way to the car, she slipped her arm through mine. "See? We're fine." "We're behaving better," I answered. "It's not the same thing." "You always need a problem." "No, I need respect." She didn't answer, but she held on tighter. Sunday afternoon, I was fixing the gutter. She made brownies, my favorite, and brought a piece out to me on a napkin. Illusion, Part 1. It tasted like apology and strategy. "You're sweet when you're quiet," she said, half amused. "Quiet is efficient," I said. "You hear better." Monday morning was normal. Coffee, headlines, 2 adults on autopilot. I grabbed my thermos and left for work. Pip asked if I was coming to watch the college game at O'Malley's on Wednesday. I said yes. I hadn't said yes to anything on a weeknight in months. That was initiative, number 2. My time was mine again. That night at home, she was on the couch with her laptop. I sat across from her with my bills. A text vibrated on the coffee table. Her phone lit up. She reached for it an instant too late. The screen faced me for a full second. "Hey, same spot as last time. 7:30, want to see you? No name on the preview, just an initial." She froze. Then she swiped, locked. She set the phone on a coaster like it was red-hot metal. "What?" I asked. "Quiet. Too quiet. Nothing." "Nothing?" A text at 7:26 with a time and a place. She stared at the blank TV screen. "It's a coworker. He's going through a divorce. He wants advice. I'm being nice." Men don't ask for late-night advice from married women. They ask therapists or other guys. She took a sharp breath. "It's not like that." "Like what?" "I have to go," she said, suddenly standing. She fumbled for the shoes she'd kicked under the coffee table. "Jenna needs me. She's in a bind. 10 minutes ago it was quiet. Now there's an emergency. Please don't start. I'm not starting. I'm observing." She grabbed her purse. "I'll be right back." I didn't stand up. I didn't argue. I nodded once. The way a manager nods when the meeting is over. She left. 10 minutes can be innocent. 10 minutes after a text like that is choreography. I washed my mug, wiped the counter, and made a list. Lists are anchor lines when storms are still pretending to be fog. First item, meet an advisor at the bank. Second, document what I control. House, truck, 401k, the workshop equipment I bought with my own paychecks. Third, breathe. I didn't sleep well. At dawn, I drove over to Pete's early and told him I'd be late. He looked at me over the hood of his truck. "You good?" he asked. "Making adjustments." "Need a couch?" "No," I said. "I need a notary." He grunted. "That kind of Monday." It's exactly that kind of Monday. At the bank, I moved our savings into a secure, separate account in my name. That money was years of Saturday overtime and selling a boat I never used. I wasn't hiding it. I was protecting what I'd built. I updated the beneficiaries. I ordered new cards. I scheduled a talk with a specialist for the next morning. No drama, a checklist. I stopped by the county clerk's office. Paperwork has a way of settling arguments that words can't. I filled in lines. I read the fine print. My hand didn't shake. The clerk, a guy with graying hair and practical glasses, stamped what needed stamping. "You sure?" he said. "Yes." He looked at me the way men look at each other when one of them is cutting a rope. "All right then." When I got home, she was on the porch, talking on the phone about plants to someone. Light voice, theatrical banter. I walked past her, put the folder in my home office, opened my laptop, and started separating what she could touch from what she couldn't. Subscriptions, utilities, passwords, boxes checked, access pruned. I wasn't being punitive. I was being clean. If she wanted solo freedom, I was tidying it up for her. That evening, she tried Illusion Part 2. She made a full dinner. Roasted chicken salad with too many ingredients, candles she saved for holidays. She wore a soft sweater I used to compliment. I wanted to do something nice, she said, standing too close to the stove to be comfortable. She took my wrist. We've been distant. Let's reset. Reset is honesty, I said, not choreography. I'm trying. Then look me in the eye and tell me there isn't a man texting you to meet up late at night. She blinked slowly. You're obsessed. I'm verifying. You're controlling. I'm setting standards. We ate in silence. She kept starting sentences and abandoning them like shopping carts. After the dishes, she sat next to me on the couch. Her hand crept toward mine. I let it rest on my forearm and didn't move to meet it. You're cold, she mumbled. I respond to the temperature. That's petty. It's a mirror, she sighed. You can be unbearable. Noted. Wednesday, I went to O'Malley's with Pete and Mike. We watched the game, yelled at bad calls, and ate wings that tasted like freedom and heartburn. My phone stayed on the table, face up. Nobody texted me a location. Mike looked at me over his beer. You're quieter than usual. Thinking. About leaving or fixing? About finishing, I said. He nodded. There's a calmness in an ending. When I got home, the house was dark. Her car wasn't in the driveway. I sat in the truck for a minute and listened to the engine idle, then cut it and went inside. Lights, silence, a couch that felt like a witness. At 11:58 p.m. I called, straight to voicemail, the small efficient click of being ignored. I called again. Voicemail. The kind of rejection that says, I'm busy with something better than you. At 12:03 a.m. my screen lit up. I'll call when I'm free. Don't worry about it, I typed back. No heat. I don't need the call. Stay with him. The house is locked for you tonight. I blocked the number. Then I got up. I took the folder from the office, placed it on the dining room table, and pulled 2 suitcases from the hall closet. I packed her clothes cleanly, the way you break down a job site so the next crew can't say you left a mess. I didn't take everything. The essentials, the pieces she wore daily. I put the suitcases by the front door. On top, I placed the documents, the lines, the signatures, the dates, distilled order. I changed the code on the lock. I slid the chain into place like a punctuation mark. Then I waited. She showed up 10 minutes after the text, breathless steps on the porch, the key scraping metal. The key didn't know the door anymore. She knocked, then knocked louder. Aaron, open the door! What is this? I turned the deadbolt. She stormed in, saw the bags, saw the folder, saw the new stillness in the house like the air before a thunderstorm. Her words tumbled over each other. Are you serious? This is insane. You can't just lock me out of my own. You were out. I locked up. With friends. She lied with a straight face that deserved an award. Friends who call you at midnight and ask for your time like a taxi. You're paranoid. Your phone disagrees. She flew into a rage. Now you're tracking me? You're reading my texts? That is sick, Aaron. I saw one text you left out in the open like a billboard. You declined my calls twice. Then you told me you'd call when you were free. Her voice cracked into a performance of outrage. So I can't have my own life? I can't have a conversation without you harassing me? You've become a control freak. Everyone sees it. Everyone who? I asked. Jenna, my mother, the girls? Jenna needs a mirror. Your mother needs peace, and the girls need new material. She pointed at the suitcases. This is emotional punishment. This is a consequence. For what? For talking to someone, for helping a friend. For going out and spitting on what we built? She scoffed hard enough to make her earrings tremble. You're no saint, Aaron. You work late. You go out with the guys. You barely look at me half the time. I was here when you didn't show up. I changed plans when you walked out. I asked for respect and you called it control. You are overreacting. No, I said. I'm done reacting. She looked at the folder. What's that? Clarity, I said. She opened it, saw the header, and went still. Her mouth moved, but whatever sentence she'd prepared for a different life died right there. You filed this morning. You didn't even talk to me. I tried for weeks. You ran a coffee marathon. You blindsided me. You hid in plain sight. She swallowed hard. You're throwing away a marriage over a text message. I'm ending a performance over a pattern." She shook her head. "Are you happy? You just confirmed every fear I ever had about you. You're cold. You're punishing. You want to control everything. I want self-respect in my own house." She picked up a suitcase like it weighed more than fabric. "Where am I supposed to go?" "Somewhere that matches your schedule." "Aaron, come on." Her tone went soft like wet paper. "I messed up. I've been lonely. You've been distant. I didn't know how to talk to you. I made mistakes. We can fix this. We can go to counseling." "No," I said. "No counseling." I kept my voice level. "There's nothing to mediate. You applied for another life. I'm approving it." Tears. Finally. Real ones, strategic ones. It didn't matter. "You're cruel." "I'm clear. I didn't do anything physical," she blurted out, as if that could put the genie back in the bottle. I didn't ask. "So that's it? You're just closing the door?" "Yes. You'll regret this." "I regret not doing it sooner." She grabbed the second suitcase. "What about the house, the savings? You can't just—" "I can protect what I built. You can consult whoever you want. The numbers are the numbers. You're going to leave me with nothing. You traded something priceless for a stranger's attention." I pointed to the folder. "Read page 3. It's fair. Fairer than your last 2 weeks. You're a monster." "No," I said. "I'm a man who learned to stop arguing with silence." She looked at me the way people look at stop signs when they realize they're real. Then she tried one more tactic. Sugar poured over gravel. "Can we please just sit down? 10 minutes. No phones, just us." "You had those minutes. You spent them." She opened her mouth for another volley. I held up a hand. "Enough." We stood like that for a moment. Finally, she hefted the bags and walked out onto the porch. The night swallowed her with a hollow sound. I put the second copy of the folder on the table, just inside the door, for myself. Then I said the last thing I would ever say to her as a husband. "You went too far. This is your only road now. Good luck." I shut the door. The new code chimed. The chain rested. The house exhaled. I didn't. The next few days weren't peaceful. That's the lie people sell when they label clarity a spa day. The reality is louder. She called from numbers I didn't recognize. She used Jenna's phone, her mom's, a blocked line that tried 3 times at 3 in the morning. I let voicemail handle it. She left long messages that started with apologies and ended with threats. I didn't hit play on most of them. At work, Pete looked at me over a spool of cable. "You good?" "I'm busy," I said. "Busy is good. Busy is controlled." Jenna showed up at our fence one afternoon like a sitcom neighbor and started without a hello. "You can't just throw her out like that. Do you know how that looks? People are talking." I rested my arms on top of the plank. "People would talk if I let it slide." "She's heartbroken. She has resources. She'll land on her feet." "You're cold. You all keep confusing calm with cold." She huffed. "She said you always thought about yourself." "I was thinking about us," I said. She was thinking about a rotating audience. "You're impossible. And you're dismissed." I went back inside. That was my public boundary. Witnessed. Simple. The divorce moved on its own because I put it on rails. The numbers were counted. The house was mine before we met. The workshop equipment was paid for by my business. The savings I moved, legal and clean. She tried to argue about furniture and gifts from her family. I kept everything by the book. Offer, counteroffer, signature. I didn't gloat. I didn't trade insults. I didn't meet in coffee shops to talk it out. I extended her the same courtesy I ask for in traffic. Signal, merge, keep it moving. In the middle of the mess, my neighbor, Mrs. Patel, found me by the mailbox. "Big changes," she said. Her eyebrows held compassion, not gossip. "Necessary ones," I said. "Peace will come," she said. "Not at first, but it will come." She was right about the order. It didn't come first. I kept my routine clean. Gym, workshop, home. I stopped cooking for 2. I kept the bed to its new size. When friends asked me out, I went. I didn't ask permission from ghosts. One night, Mike dragged me to trivia at the bowling alley. A woman named Claire sat across from me, asked about my truck, and corrected me when I got a state capital wrong. It wasn't a fix, it was oxygen. I made no promises. I said yes to another coffee. That was it. My ex, she didn't like the word, but Names are earned. Didn't give up easily. She left notes in the mailbox like we were in high school. She tried to corner me in the grocery store parking lot, starting with a "we can," "please," "just," and ending with a "you owe me." I told her the same thing every time. I owe you the truth. You already got it. The rest is paperwork. The day the papers were finalized, I didn't throw a party. I went to work, put in my 9 hours, and drove home on a road that looked the same but didn't feel like a loop. I parked, sat for a minute, and let the silence be silence. I see my friends more now. Not as a distraction, just as life. There's a poker night in Pip's garage where the buy-in is small and the stories are better than the hands. There are Saturdays. I drive out past the river with nobody watching a clock. There's Claire, who still won't let me cheat at trivia and doesn't treat me like a project. She asks where I want to go on Sundays, and she means it. People ask if I miss my marriage. I miss the version I signed up for. That one was clean. The version I had at the end was a play with too many understudies. She didn't get the house, she didn't get the savings, she got what made sense, and nothing that could be turned into a prize. I didn't lock the door on her life. I just locked mine to her. She moved into a small apartment across town with thin walls. I hear things from people who still orbit her. The way she tells the story depends on the room she's in. Sometimes I'm the villain. Sometimes I'm the rock she threw herself against. It doesn't matter. She's looking for sympathy. I'm not in those stands. My only regret is the time I spent explaining the basics to someone who had already chosen a different class. I gave patience. She gave excuses. In the end, I handed her the one thing she kept pretending she wanted. Freedom. There's a simple phrase I have for it. I traded up.